The cereal tier list, that's actually what I care about the most. At the end, they have the cereal tier list, right? The cereal tier list is actually just fucking crazy to me. The cereal tier list is fucking crazy. First of all, look at how low some of these people have cinnamon. Look at how low this fucking fool has Cinnamon Toast Crunch. 6th? 6th? Are you kidding me? What the fuck? You've got to be kidding me. How is it that the weirdest person on here is the only normal person on here? Also, Grape Nuts, okay, here's the problem, right? Grape Nuts are not a delicious cereal, and I don't think, like, obviously, I don't think Grape Nuts are super good, right? I don't think Grape Nuts are super good. But I think there are better cereals that are better for you that could have been on the list instead. Like, if that's Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch, now we're fucking talking, right? Like, that's a better cereal. Grape Nuts, I don't think are a bad cereal. I think of most of the cereals listed here are not bad cereals. Almost everything is fine. I don't really like Lucky Charms that much. Right? Yeah, Honey Bunches of Oats, or is Cheerios on here? Cheerios would have been a fine replacement too, right? Like, any of those would have been a fine replacement for Grape Nuts. I don't think Grape Nuts are that good, no. I'm not on that. I'm not on Team Grape Nuts. Like, you don't got me. Yeah, CTC not being number 1 is crazy. Although it losing to Captain Crunch is not the end of the world. I think Captain Crunch is pretty good. Almost as good.
Raisin Bran Crunch all day.
As fucking Raisin Bran Crunch. Exactly. Thanks very much, Plague of Souls, for bringing up a strong cereal. A strong cereal contender. Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch to me is the top cereal choice. Like, of the cereals listed here, like, what is the cereal tier? There's, like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch would probably be my number 1 of the available cereals here. Although I will tell you that I prefer French Toast Crunch, I think, to Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but it's like a close first and second. But that's not on the available cereals here, right? So, like, to me, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is like, boom, it needs to be in the front. After that, probably for me, Captain Crunch. I think I don't like Lucky Charms that much. Grape Nuts would be near the back to me. Like, maybe ahead of Lucky Charms. I really do not like Lucky Charms. I think it's not very good. I'm not a huge Fruit Loops guy. I think they're all right. It's like just it's like upper mid tier cereal, right? Frosted Mini Wheats, I think are, wait, is it Mini Wheats or Frosted Mini Wheats? There's a big difference. Regular Mini Wheats, not so much. Frosted Mini Wheats, like, I can fuck with that, right? Because you gotta have some sugar to down the wheats, you know what I mean, to get through it, just like I gotta get through thanking all the subscribers to the channel. Thanks very much for the 10 months, right? If Frosted Mini Wheats, I could fuck with Frosted Mini Wheats, right? Frosted Mini Wheats, I could fuck with, right? I think that they're a fine cereal, and one of the only cereals that is okay as it absorbs milk, right? Okay as it absorbs milk. It does an okay job with that. Cocoa Puffs are all right. I think Cocoa Puffs are one of the most inoffensive cereals out there, right? It's hard to go wrong with Cocoa Puffs. Literally just chocolate. You know what I mean? Chocolate, it makes the milk chocolatey. Very inoffensive cereal. It's hard for that cereal to be bad, I think, right? Cereal's got good neutral, decent setups, a good assist. Like, it's completely inoffensive in all ways. You know what I mean? Pops, I like Pops. I think they get soggy too fast. I think that they... Overall, I think I could fuck with Pops, right? I can fuck with Pops. I don't even have to say I think. I can fuck with Pops, but I think that they have some definite weaknesses, right? Pops have some weaknesses. Of all the listed cereals here, it might be near the middle for me. Too soggy. Pops definitely get fucking wrecked. You need to devour Pops. Like, I feel like the strategy with Pops is to put Pops in the bowl, light milk, right? Just a little bit of milk. Eat the Pops real quick, and then see where your hunger level is at after that. If you need to adjust and add more Pops, sure. Right? But, yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be careful with the amount of milk you put in. Right. It's like a sparking level 1. You have to activate early with Pops. Right? Because if you get to level 3, the comeback factor is not big. As soon as they get soaked in the milk, 0 comeback factor. You might as well not have the fucking Pops. Right? You might as well not have them. It's like fucking useless. You're gonna have 7 bars, and if I have a box of Pops, I'm not fucking winning. Right? I like Apple Jacks. You know what's better than Apple Jacks? the bootleg knockoff bag that they give you of Ghetto Jacks, Apple Janks. I don't know what they're called. They are better than Apple Jacks, though. That's for sure. Are we not considering Cookie Crisp in the tier list? No, it's just the 7 cereals they had here. But I will tell you, Midnight Delight, if you like Cookie Crisp, you're on some childlike shit when it comes to cereal. I'll just be straight up with you. Cookie Crisp is definitely some like you're like a 12-year-old kid and you're just like, cookies? I love cookies. I love cookies. They're in fact one of my favorite desserts. But you're just eating a fucking bowl of cookies for breakfast. At some point in your life, you're gonna have to mature. You know? At some point in your life, you're gonna have to develop. You know what I mean? You gotta move on. I love cookies. I'm with you right there. Cookie Crisp, I can fuck with it a little bit, right? It's just a big bowl of fucking cookies. But you gotta be careful. I don't think it's a long-term cereal. It's dangerous, right? Cookies and milk for breakfast, that shit is rough. I'll tell you what. You know what I'm sad they didn't have on here, though? Like I said, Raisin Bran. I'm disappointed in the lack of Raisin Bran and Raisin Bran Crunch. It should have been a worthy replacement for Grape Nuts, which universally sucked a big one, according to the votes here, right? I feel like they should have vetted the cereals a bit better. You know what I mean? Raisin Bran or Raisin Bran Crunch or Honey Nut Cheerios would have been better healthy cereals than Grape Nuts. Even Special K. Why are there no flakes? That's a great question. Where the fuck are the Frosted Flakes? Frosted Flakes are great. Frosted Flakes are great. I feel like I need to have a discussion with Dakota and the Summit people. I need to break it down. I'm like, look, let me vet the cereal choices so that we have like a well spread out amount of cereal, right? Because currently there's some weak cereals in the mix here, which I think is okay. For a first run. In fact, they got some of the fan favorites out there. I'm disappointed overall in the placement of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Look at this. It is not scoring high marks, right? Look at that. Not scoring high marks. That's crazy. I'm happy, though, that we had some of the Japanese players try it because I'm sure that that's, like, fucking crazy. Regular Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch is buff. Yeah, regular Captain Crunch. But Crunch Berries is very good, too. Is Pops weak? I don't think Pops is weak. The showing it had here was not bad. I think Pops has some definite weaknesses. We talked about that earlier on the tier list. It's not a balanced cereal, right? It's a cereal that has troubles. Peanut Butter Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch has a lot of variations. That's the thing about cereal you have to remember. I was not there for the filming of the cereal tier list. No. But I fucks with Raisin Bran, as people mention. I fucks with CTC. But Raisin Bran is in like old people cereal tier list, right? If you talk about like older people cereal tier list, you got Raisin Bran, which is top tier. Honey Nut Cheerios, which is also top tier. Special K is fine. It gets the job done. Like a lot of these, there's different tiers. Like Cookie Crisp is in children's tier cereal. And Raisin Bran and the other Special K and this shit is in a different tier. And in the middle, you have kind of the balance, right? It's hard, I think, for some cereals to compete with fucking others. It depends on your taste. Looking at Hook and God's picks, for instance, you can tell he's a fucking child. You can just tell. I can just tell by his choices. Captain Crunch, right? Cocoa Puffs, Fruit Loops. Lucky Charms is in the top half of this list. You can tell where he's at in life, right? You can just tell by where his choices are. Grape Nuts and Mini Wheats, the last two. I can just tell. I can see it. He's a goon. It's fine. Sonic Fox's list, literally sorted by the amount of sugar available, right? Captain Crunch, CTC, Fruit Loops, Cocoa Puffs, Lucky Charms. You have to remember that sugar is how you fuel your body. And if your body has no fuel, you can't be going 1,000 miles an hour. And you need that energy so that people just get mixed, right? How can you mix if you've got no sugar in your blood flow? You need it. It's necessary. Knockil. See, the thing about Knockil is that I expected to stop and thank Snail Music right in the middle of his discussion. Thanks very much, Snail Music, for the Twitch Prime. The thing about Knockil is I expected a more adult cereal tier list from him. And I think that that's exactly what we got here with this Mini Wheats in the second slot, right? He's willing to accept that sometimes you got to rock with something a little bit more. There's some texture in there, right? Frosted Mini Wheats is not just your normal sugary cereal. It's got some texture. You know what I mean? The Fruit Loops pick, I mean, that might be nostalgia right there, right? But that's interesting to think about. Lucky Charms, low tier, good sign of an adult. That's what I'm talking about. Japanese players, cereal tier list, I don't even want to get into it. Although I can agree with Fruit Loops near the end of this bad boy. That's all I'm saying. Just a little breakdown of this tier list. Also, I love this picture of Hook. Jesus, it's fucking funny. You're saying the nooch isn't short for nutrition? No. Nooch is not nutritional value at all. Japanese people don't use cinnamon? Yeah, I think you're right. Also, I've heard that like these sugary cereals in the US are not popular. F-Word told me a story about how in the UK there's like a place where you pay like, I don't know, like $5 or $10 for a bowl of cereal. Like American cereal in like breakfast. This place is like incredibly popular because like a lot of the cereals that are popular here are not imported to the UK. So like to get some of those, like people pay money, a lot of money to get it. Can we watch the Summit Wonder Years? That shit is great.